Right, members, settle down, please. Please. Thank you very much. Councillor Wing, are you with us?
Yeah, with you, Chair.
No, she's far away somewhere. Right, good evening, members, and welcome to our full council meeting this evening, and welcome to our some of our residents who are here in the room, and also to anybody watching online. You're very welcome. So we have quite a large agenda this evening, so I'm going to move on swiftly. So item 1, apologies.
We have apologies from Councillor Makinson due to a family commitment and Councillor Young who's unwell.
Also Councillor Moore, family commitment.
Thank you. Okay. Item 2, declaration of interest. Has any members got any declaration of interest on any of the items on the agenda this evening?
Yes, I've got one.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah, confidential item number 3, if it's discussed, I can declare an interest.
Okay.
Because my wife works
okay. Thank you.
And me too, soon. Ramsgate.
Right, thank you. Thank you, members. Item 3, public participation and public requests to speak. And we do have some guests here from the Royal Navy Association who wish to say something. There is an item later on in the agenda in relation to it, but now is your chance to let us hear what you've got to actually say.
Councillors, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for giving me the time to come to your council meeting. So, a very long story short, back in May I sent an email to the council stating after the successful Dynamo anniversary that we had last year, that Armed Forces Day perhaps could be a bit better than just a drumhead service. So you replied via the town clerk, but there was one box in there that was a bit worrying for myself and other veterans associations. So today you've got your town parade commander, a member of the King's Regiment, the secretary, and the Rafa Club, and the Royal Artillery. So all of the veterans were quite concerned about this one paragraph, and the paragraph was, however, I'm afraid the suggestion to add celebratory elements was not approved. The members see this as a formal event with specific purpose, remembering our debt to the armed forces, and the suggestion of additions weren't supported. So I've got a bit of a thing about Armed Forces Day. Would you like me to read it now? Or?
If you wish to, yeah.
Okay, so this is to seek agreement and approval for hosting Armed Forces Day celebrations, recognising the service and sacrifice of current personnel, veterans, reservists, cadets and their families, while strengthening the community and organisation element. We celebrate Armed Forces Day, a day when our communities come together to honour the extraordinary people who protect our nation and uphold our values. The day is not only a moment of recognition, it is a moment of celebration, a celebration of service, courage, of dedication, and of the bonds that tie our armed forces and families together. Across our history and across the world today, the brave men and women of the Royal Navy, the British Army and the Royal Air Force stand ready 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. They serve in challenging environments, respond to crisis, deliver humanitarian aid and safeguard our peace and security. Their professionalism is matched only by their humility, and the sacrifice is one which we must never take for granted. But the armed forces do not stand alone. Behind every sailor, soldier, marine, airman is a network of people who sacrifice in their own way. The families, the friends and the communities who provide the unwavering support. Your strength made their strength possible. The day is about celebrating. Armed Forces Day has also given us the opportunity to thank our veterans, those who once wore the uniform and continue to serve our society in countless ways, through leadership, through community service, and through the example of courage and integrity. Your legacy shapes the next generation. And let us not forget our cadets and reservists. They represent the future of the services. Young people learning discipline, teamwork, confidence, and the pride of belonging to something bigger than themselves. The commitment they show will become the leadership of tomorrow. As we celebrate, we also reflect on the values shared by all who serve, which is loyalty, respect, courage, discipline, integrity and selfless commitment. These values are more than words, they are lived every day by the people we honour. The day is about pride, pride in our armed forces, pride in our veterans, pride in our families and pride in our town, pride in our country. So that's kind of where we're coming from today. So a part of the email that I received from the town clerk also said that it is expensive to put on parades. Well, it is. I know because I'm also involved in the Op Dynamo parades and I know what things cost. But Armed Forces Day comes with grants and they'll halve anything that you pay. So, for instance, if you pay £3,000 on closing the road, the Armed Forces Day grant will give you £1,500, up to £10,000. And I've got a list of what it can be used for. Anybody can Google Armed Forces Day. It's all there for everybody to see. So, thank you very much for your time, and I hope you consider
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Members, what I'm going to do is, if you will agree, is to move item 10 up till now, so that we can discuss the Armed Forces Day instead of letting our friends there sit there till for about another hour or so, and then if they want that they can go. So you've heard what they've said. Myself, as chair of the council, I'm on the side of celebrating our armed services. As has just been said, it's great having the official kind of stuff, but part of that should be to celebrate, and it's exactly that is the word that's sticking in my mind. And so, just on that fact, so I'll open up. Councillor Hudson.
My dad was in the Royal Navy. I've moved about this country, married quarters, Scotland twice, 2 places, Southampton, Chatham. When we celebrated Armed Forces Day, it was a celebration as much as us recognising those that had given and were still giving. It was like family days and family weekends. It wasn't morbid. It was about encouraging us to be part of the Royal Services as children. You give so much as a child. We lose out as children, being taken from one place to another place. And when you come together as a community, it's celebratory as much as commemorative. And I do think we should be listening to what we're being told.
Thank you. Well put, may I add. Okay, anybody else? Councillor Wynne?
It's not, I think it's. I mean, I can't imagine the trauma of your parents or your dad who was in the armed forces being away. You know, my dad used to go away.
A bit different, yeah.
So I can't imagine the trauma behind the house that's left and the kids that are left, wondering whether your parent or your aunties I can't imagine how you cope with it on a daily basis. But I think when you look at Operation Dynamo, we're celebrating an event that took place in the past. And I think with Armed Forces Day, we're not only recognising the past and the sacrifice, but we're also trying to recognise the here and now. Because our forces are still here, that they're still doing what they've always done, and I also support the idea of possibly expanding the event so that we're drawing people into the town as well. So we're not only raising the profile of the situation for forces people now and in the past and in the future, but also raising the profile of the town.
Absolutely.
I think it's important.
I mean, I go on at length.
Sorry. Just wait till you get other people when you come back. Councillor Piper. Sorry. God almighty. Where did that come from? Where did that come from?
Any apologies.
Back to the future.
Jim.
I don't want to show any disrespect in it. Yeah, because I do think it's a very good thing to be in the armed forces, to serve your country. But I think also as well that if we're going to celebrate, perhaps we could celebrate teachers and nurses and other people too. I'm not sure that having another military event to do in the calendar is, you know, a great idea. But that's just my own thoughts.
Thank you, Jim. Councillor Ora.
Yeah, I think it's a good celebration for the next generation as well. You know, the bigger it gets, the better it gets, I think, for our town as well as for our community. I support it, yeah.
Councillor Sean, did you want to...
Yes, fine. I'm fully supportive. My father volunteered to be in the Navy, so he was a standard bearer in Ramsgate, and at the age of 7, so I watched all them parades. And as you go back, I do a lot of family history. My grandfather was in the First World War, Royal Garrison Artillery, so I'm fully supportive. KCC respect all these roles, and we do one thing right, we do respect armed forces, so it's good. And I've been on HMS Kent.
Thank you for that, Councillor Sean. But can I just say, Ramsgate Town Council has always respected everything to do with the armed forces and is very positive in the things that happen. So,
Yeah, I mean, I largely support the proposal. I think I'm just kind of wanting to check something from what Councillor Driver just said. I don't see this as an additional event. I see it as an expansion because it's still Armed Forces Day, and I'm not sure that this is requiring more than one day or not. So, but otherwise, I just think that could be clarified. That's all. But otherwise, yes.
I mean that
very much with what.
That is the case. The Armed Forces Day will take place whether or not whatever we do.
Yeah.
Right, so it will take place and it will be done. Councillor Nixley.
Okay, so with regard to this, I'm not necessarily unsupportive of this, but I'm just looking at the practicalities, so bear with me a second. So if it's going to go ahead, which is great, we've got to think about how it's going ahead. So at the moment, as part of the grant scrutiny panel, we as a town council don't put things on. People put things on and we give them money to do it. So we've got to be careful about what we're doing here because, again, we are quite tight in what we as a council can provide. So, for example, if this was going to be an event that was going to apply for a grant and then come to us, I think, again, the council would look very favourably at it. If it was something that was expected the council to do, we don't have the facilities to be able to do it. And so just bear that in mind as we go through, because yes, the grant money, absolutely, there's grant money there, we can use that. But let's think about this practically too, please. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Hebrington and Councillor Green.
Well, I was just going to add to that, on the Grant Scrutiny Committee, we are really tight on the money. So there would have to be a contribution, this would have to be worked out quite between us. And you're just saying that there's much funding here. So
yeah, there is.
Saying, yes, yeah, maybe we need a discussion about that. Yeah, it would be helpful.
Councillor Green.
Yeah, I mean, it's my job to look at the money, I guess. The town clerk estimates that it will cost £6,000. Was that with the grant that's been suggested? Or?
No, so at the moment we already received the grant that has been mentioned. So it usually costs around £1,100 to £1,600, of which we usually get about £500 back. There's no guarantee that you will always get the 50%, but we are usually successful year on year on getting 50% of the cost back. The £6,000 is based on when we've done other similar festivities outside, Pier Yard, closing the road, when you're putting something on that's lasting all day. So I think that would be potentially on top of what the annual cost that we already have.
So we won't get half of £6,000?
We would try, but But it's not a guaranteed.
Right. I mean, I think it's well worth doing, whether we've got the facilities and means to do it, I don't know. Perhaps councillor Shark would add to the part from his grant money.
Okay.
I said perhaps councillor Shark would add to the pot from your grant money.
If I can, I will. I don't make promises, but we've dealt with each other before, and if it's good for Ramsgate, I'm for it.
Okay, I think there are 3 recommendations, and it would be remiss of me not to read them out. One is to reconsider the scope and purpose of Armed Forces Day in Ramsgate for 2027. I believe by what I've heard is that we're all in favour of not doing that. We need to expand it. So that would be my thing. And determine whether we wish to retain the formal structure, which it looks like we don't, expand the events with direct council funding, or invite and assess a grant funded proposal from the RNA or other community partners. My own view is that I think we should invite our RNA friends to submit an application for a grant, and we will do the best that we can with it, because we cannot put this on ourselves. We cannot do it. We haven't got the resources to actually do it. But we will give, in my view, to give the RNA as much support as we possibly can. So I'm putting that forward as a motion. Seconded. Councillor Crittenden, sorry, I know I overshot you, but...
Yeah, you did, thank you. I was actually going to ask which of the grant funding budgets the funding would come from, but I guess we've kind of gone past that. I actually was also... sorry?
It's events.
Yeah. Just checking.
Yeah.
What else is it?
Because sometimes civic stuff comes out of the mayor's
No, it's not.
budget, but it doesn't count as that. Just checking. The other thing I was actually going to suggest, before you beat me to it, was some kind of combination between the last 2 options under some direct council funding and allocation to assess grant-funded proposals. And I was also going to ask, would this have any implications, hidden costs from our staff time?
Yes.
So that was what I was going to say.
Yes. It would, Councillor, yeah. Thank you for that. Councillor Nixie, yeah.
Just for the people that have joined us, and thank you and welcome, by the way. Just so that you're aware, as I'm part of the grant scrutiny committee, and so people send us grants in, and then we assess them. And obviously, as you're aware, because you've obviously done the parades and things like this before, and work with the town clerk, is a lot of our staff get used for various things, and if we can accommodate in any way we can, then we try to do that. But also, just this is a reference when you do a grant application, if you're going to do one, if you need our staff, they also come at a cost. So think about that when you're pricing things up. So you can find that information in the town clerk, because that's something that you might want, and then you can add that into a grant application.
And just bear with us a second.
Well, we're looking at Armed Forces Day 2027.
Oh, okay,
So actually, there's plenty of time to think about it.
Change the sex on that.
I'll not be here.
Okay, members, look, there's a proposal and seconder to not stick with what we've had in the past, to add celebration to the event, and we welcome that, and then to ask our colleagues there at the back to submit a grant form under the events grants, and we will see what we can do for you as much as we can. So, all in favour, please show. That's unanimous. Thank you very, very much. And if we can just, just see a gentleman out. If you want to go, then I'll...
You're welcome to stay.
We could force it.
Yeah. You're right. It's part of the
in addition to armistice and that sort of thing.
Bye. Bye.
So we'll see, won't
Bye.
My name is David Wright, I'm working chair of the RAF Association.
Thank you.
Thank you, nice to meet you.
Members, we're back on. Sorry about that. Right, item 3.2, report from county councillors on matters directly related to Ramsgate. Councillor Shong, do you have?
Yeah, well, I could just give you an update. I mean, as you know, we've got a full-on with potholes, £67 million. There's too many to report, but I've asked for a survey around the roads of Ramsgate and Thanet. I did have a look at a alleyway with a problem. We had, I think, Trish was there with that
We
one.
had a lovely time.
And it's, we know what an alleyway looks like, and we know what brick.
We had fun.
But anyway, if there's anything outstanding and I don't cover it, just give me something in writing, and I'll do. Most of the people at KCC are in Manchester for some reason.
So can I just cut that down, Councillor Shong? So basically what you've done, you've notified your seniors, councillors, whatever, cabinet members, about the state of the roads in Thanet, and asked them to, have you asked them to try and prioritise it, or just to get the work done?
Some of the work I'd say is quite shoddy actually. I do travel around, and I think. I mean, and the weather just washes it all away, and they've done repairs in my road. Not, it's got special, and the rubble that was come out is still on the side of the road, and they just put some tarmac. So the workmanship is not as what I always thought was good.
Okay.
But there's, if you go to North Avenue, there's holes there. They've got to close the road.
They're doing them on
Every
27th.
yes, right. Anyway. Paul Ballott's up to there, with everybody complaining about this and that, and everybody expects it to be done, and it can't be just done like that. No, anyway, once I get an update.
Thank you. It's not,
we do what we can.
This is just for
we
do. I just wanted to mention that the reporting system is really good, and the lovely Tony from KCC normally rings me the day after.
Thank you for that, but it's just for councillors.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Shong. Item 4, members, minutes of council meetings. To approve the minutes of council meeting held on the 28th of January 2026, and only questions of record may be considered. Members, any question of the record of it? No? In that case, then I propose accepting the minutes. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Green. All in favour, please show. Thank you, that's carried. Right, item 5, finances. Part 1 of 5, to receive a report of payments. Council was asked to note the payments authorised by the Town Clerk between the 1st and 28th of February 2026, totalling £9,415.22, and approve the payments above the threshold delegated to the Town Council and RFO between the 1st and 28th of February 2026, totalling £87,255.85p. Members, has anybody got any comment or questions to ask in relation to this item? No, then I propose noting as it states. All in favour? Thank you. Right, item 2 of 5, to consider the recommendations of the grant scrutiny panel in respect of the following grant applications and resolve what funding should be awarded. Now, there are quite a number, as you can see. I think it's 19, nearly 20, I think. I'm not intending to go through them one by one. What I'm intending to do, is what I've done before, is to ask you if you've got anything specific, any specific grant award that you've got a difficulty or wish to ask a question on. Councillor Green.
I'd just like to ask, through you, the grant committee, whether there's, where we are in relation to the amount of money we've got and the grants that we're getting.
Of course.
Shall I answer?
If you can answer that.
So we split the grants up so that it's in quarters or thirds. What are we doing in the
Quarters.
It is. So I'm doubting myself there. And we try to adhere to that because we have noticed with the sort of uptake of people asking for grants, we are getting grants throughout the year continually, and so we make sure that we have enough of budget to consider what's coming. And if we do get grants that are maybe for a later date or something like that, we tend to put those to one side, explain to the organisation that in grant panel of nearer the time, as long as it gives them enough time to actually draw. So we're meeting, being able to accommodate as many people as we can with as much money we can with what we've got, but we are going up to the limit each time, trying to help everybody that we can, if that answers your question.
Partly, what sort of percentage of what we're being asked for are we generally granting?
Well, that's a case-by-case scenario, to be honest with you. And like I say, we've always vouched it on, you know, what money have you had from us before? Are you a new group? We really try to help new people out. You know, what did you have last year? What are you asking for this year? We realise there are on costs and stuff like that. You know, the budget's going up. So we take into consideration value for money, who it's projected to involve, where in Thanet, Ramsgate, beg your pardon, where in Ramsgate it is, and so on and so forth. So it's very much case by case, and then we work it accordingly, but always with the idea that as much as we can.
Okay, I'm going to bring the town clerk in now. Okay.
So just briefly, you received the full applications, and then you've also got a detailed report from the Deputy Town Clerk. It was just tonight, because actually it helps me. You've got this very outline, what was requested and what the panel is recommending.
Yes, thank you. This is very good. Really helpful.
Anybody else? Councillor Crittenden.
Just like to say thank you for the award for the Destiny Peace Memorial Restoration. It does. So it does. I mean, obviously, it fits in quite well with what we already discussed earlier. But this has been a project of mine for trying to get something done about Destiny for the last 7-8 years now, I think. So. And I'm just really grateful to the Ramsgate Society for coming in and picking up half the costs of this as well. So it's just as the ward councillor, I'd just say it's very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councillor Green.
Our biggest grant by far is for the Citizens Advice Bureau in the Planet, which doesn't exist anymore because it's combined with
I've got some information on that.
with a bigger area.
Yeah, I saw that.
Whether you are absolutely certain that our money is needed.
Well,
I've got an update on that, if I may,
yes.
Chair. We, as the Grants Committee, appreciate the need for such a service. However, we have looked through back over the years and what they're doing around the rest of Thanet and so on and so forth. So our Deputy Town Clerk is actually going back to, because this is to fund a supervisor so that these things can happen. So it's a paid role, and we've actually gone back to the Citizens Advice Bureau to explain that in future years this might not be able to be accommodated whether wholly or partly or what have you. So we are warning them that things might change in the future purely because of the lack of money that everybody has. That's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Councillor Wing.
I'm assuming, I did actually, in Citizens Advice again, it's a big spend, but I bumped into one of their volunteers and got into a long conversation just generally about how the service, it was just a coincidental meeting, and she said that the service is so badly needed in around here.
It is.
She found it quite frightening, the number of people that were coming and the issues that.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all.
So I think for me, I think it's a really good spend of money, but we just need to make sure it is
Spent here.
spent in Ramsgate.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I also think this is such a good idea, because remember the good old days where we'd come in and there was a few applications and we'd all be saying, no, you can't do that, you can't do this. And this is such a much better system. And you seem to have, I mean, I congratulate the panel because they seem to have done a really good job at making the best of the money we have. It's shared out really well.
Members, I've just asked the town clerk to contact them and ask for a breakdown of where our money's going.
They do send us breakdowns to our TDC email.
Yes, but if we're talking about RTC, we want that specifically. I've got Councillor Huxley, then Councillor Hudson, all the H's.
In the old days, we never gave any funds to salaries.
No.
Yeah. It's obviously a great thing, but I don't think they should be relying on us for this amount of money.
No. That's up to you, members. Councillor Hudson.
I'm sure I had an invitation recently.
Yes, we did.
To they're going to give a presentation about how the service is going to be changed and be merged.
Yes.
So, my concern about a merger
Can you
is...
recall where that is?
It's in our emails. I'm sure I've got it.
So, the impact that may have on the money that we put into the Ramsgate service.
To be here.
We need to make sure
Thank you.
that if we input money.
Thank you. Councillor Graham.
I think the point is what added value are we getting
Yes.
for this quite a large amount of money that they're not providing elsewhere for free.
And I keep the office in Ramsgate. Yes, they are.
That is why we did explain to them that next year, we didn't want to sort of like cut them off this short. We have contacted them to say, just be aware that,
Fair comment. Councillor Sean, did you have your hand up?
No problem.
Okay. No, it's just you sucking your spectacles. I had to be careful there. To Crittenden.
That event is on Thursday the 26th of March at 4:30 to 6:30, and it's at Piermont Hall.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. Right, members. Anything else on any other thing? No. Okay. I'm going to propose accepting all of the grant applications as agreed by the grant committee. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Austin, all in favour, please?
And can we thank the grant committee again for their work? Yeah.
Indeed.
Much appreciated.
Right, item 6, members. Committee minutes, again. To note the following committee minutes for approval by the respective committees. Town Promotion Committee of the 3rd of February 2026, and part 2 of that is the Asset Management Committee, 11th of February. Members, any comments in relation to those minutes? No, in that case, I propose accepting those minutes. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Crittenden, all in favour, please show. Thank you, that's carried. Item 7, update from councillors' representatives on outside bodies. Is there anybody on the outside body?
I guess so.
All heads turned to you, Councillor Green.
The Pride in Place, Ramsgate Pride in Place Committee meets on Friday, when we are due to select a chair, a permanent chair for the committee. We've been operating with a temporary chair until now. And also we're due to approve or select or discuss at least those applications that we've had for small amounts of funding from the community to supposedly to help illustrate what the Pride what the programme is meant to be all about.
Right, okay.
And I think we've had about,
I was just going to ask you how many you had.
12 applications, which would more than quadruple the amount of money that we've got.
Right.
So we're going to have to be selective.
Question from me is that I suppose you've got to determine what our revenue issues that they may have and what are capital.
No, none of this is capital.
None of it's capital. It's just all.
This is from the revenue.
All revenue. That's great. That's just what I was just wanting
It's from
to
the
understand.
pre-application money.
Right. Okay.
There's been some discussion about whether we should even look at bids that are from outside of Ramsgate, even if they would deliver in Ramsgate. And that has caused a bit of controversy. So we're going to have to resolve that.
Anyway, sorry. Councillor Austin.
We've had small councils and other people have concerns expressed by organisations based in our ward that they feel that on occasions they're going to be competing against, big national charities that happen to have a plan to do something nice in Ramsgate, and that they feel that it's not a level playing field. And we have raised this with the officers concerned. Yeah. We've said they'll keep an eye on it, basically.
Yeah.
There was a bit of confusion about, somebody sent me a bit of the application form that actually said something like must be in Thanet and then must be Ramsgate based, and there was a bit of a conflict in the wording on the application that I think needs addressing. But we could provide them with an expert team to select the bids, because we have one, don't we?
Well, that's obviously Councillor Green put forward any points that he feels is the right thing.
The legislation says that it must be delivered in Ramsgate. Full stop.
Yeah.
I don't think we can exclude organisations from outside of Ramsgate completely, because we might want an organisation like the NHS to provide something in Ramsgate, or we might want something like East Kent College to provide something in Ramsgate. So we've got a difficulty there, and I'm hoping that the officers will come with a form of words that
I'm sure they will.
That will, explain what we can do and what we can't do.
I think that's great. Councillor
If
Wing.
you look at the other side of the coin, because we've sometimes had conversations about, I can remember a Mind conversation where we had computers and somebody said, but they can only be used by Ramsgate people. There could be the reverse, that it's a group delivering something in Ramsgate, but it fills up with kids from Margate. I mean, I don't think we can be as
prescriptive as blocking people from outside of, I'd like to think they were Thanet based and we're not shipping in people from London, but I don't think we can fully block somebody who's got a genuine programme and wants to deliver it in Ramsgate but lives in Margate or Broadstairs or even the villages, and I'm surely we can't stop people who don't live in Ramsgate from gaining from the things that are put on. So it's, you know, you can't set hard and fast rules, can you?
Disagree.
That's the dilemma, and there are people based in Ramsgate that feel very strongly the opposite view.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult process, and I think what we've got as a town council, what we've got across is we have, although Councillor Green's on the board, the majority of them are, you know, businesses, etc., etc. So they're the ones, plus the chair, obviously, guiding that with the officers. So anyway, anybody else? Councillor Green? No. Thank you, Councillor Green. It's always helpful to have an update with that for the town council. Thank you. Right, item 8, job description. To consider and approve a revised job description for the role of Marketing and Communications Officer, which follows on from the approved recommendations in Local Council Consultancy Services Partial Staffing Review. You will remember that, I think, from the last meeting, members. I'm going to ask the Town Clerk if she'll take you through it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The FNGP committee has approved the job description for a Deputy Town Clerk and Compliance Officer. And FNGP would again usually be considering this matter, but in order to expedite it, it's been brought to the council. The Deputy Town Clerk and Compliance Officer is going to be taking some responsibilities away from this job, and so this job description has been updated accordingly, and it's bringing back in all matters relating to marketing and communications, where things have started to drift into other roles. The hours and the salary have already been approved, and who's going to be doing this job is not for consideration tonight. It's just asked to look at the primary responsibilities.
Members, any comments? I had a look through from my experience, and everything seems honky-dory for me. So I'm going to propose acceptance of the job description. Seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Green. All in favour? Thank you, that's carried, members. Item 9, Town Promotion Committee recommendations. The following 2 items have been referred from the Town Promotion Committee for consideration due to the scale and costs involved with each. Item 1, we'll do them separately. Item 1, to receive a written report from Mrs. R. Smith, I don't know who she is, Town Centre and Tourism Manager, there we are, and consider the proposal contained therein to commission a Standing with Giants display in 2026. Now, I'm going to ask whether Councillor Smith would like to say anything prior to.
Oh, sorry.
Huh? Oh, sorry, I didn't see. I was looking the other way.
I'll do the introduction.
Yes,
and then. So this report seeks council to approve £20,000 for a 6-week Standing with Giants installation of 338 Tommy silhouettes around Ramsgate Harbour, time to coincide with the 2026 Operation Dynamo commemorations. The installation offers a national profile impact, strong visitor projections and significant economic uplift for local businesses are projected. A 1-year pilot has been negotiated in place of the original requested multi-year commitment. Council is asked to decide whether to proceed with the full installation, consider a reduced version or decline the proposal. And my colleague is present if there's more details required.
Members? Councillor Green.
Yeah, I asked the Chair of Town Promotion, in turn asked Mrs. Smith whether the period where this was planned for would also cover Armed Forces Day and whether the two could combine. And I think she said it could, which I think would really enhance the whole thing.
So I've got a nodding yes for that. Members, any further comments? Can I have a proposal, please? Let me do it if you've got a proposal.
I propose.
Propose acceptance. Seconder, please, councillor Wing. All in favour, please show. Thank you. I think that'd be great. I really do. Right, part two. Other two.
The proposed acquisition of the MV Watchful as a heritage asset. This report presents an opportunity for Ramsgate Town Council to purchase the historic Dunkirk Little Ship Watchful for £100,000. Securing her as a permanent heritage attraction, the vessel would operate as a floating museum and cafe with income expected to cover ongoing costs. A volunteer-led return voyage to Ramsgate is planned for April 2026, with the hope that a long-term access solution would be grant-funded. Council is asked to consider three options: full purchase, in-principle approval pending inspection, or declining to purchase and leaving acquisition for consideration by others. Again,
Members, any comments?
I'll start. My first, I moved in 2010, wasn't really aware of the Dunkirk Little Ships, and then they came in 2010. And I can remember going at the end and just weeping actually, because of the
Boats that were going in and out.
and then, I've got this whole link with young people. So I've always had this dream in my head to bring a Dunkirk Little Ship in so that it can
Particularly be around telling the story of young people that went across on those boats. So I think the New Britannic, Kevin would be able to tell us, a 15-year-old went across with his dad, and young people seem to have been forgotten from the story. So I'm all in favour of this, because if you see the impact of the Dunkirk Little Ships, I know it's a lot of money, and I'm the first one to criticise us spending a lot of money, but I would be cautious. It's a boat. The people at the yacht club, who everybody thinks are wealthy, and some of them are, they say you might as well sit in the shower and put more money down the drain. So I wouldn't suggest an outright buy. I would actually try to work with local experts, which we have, and I would support the second option, which is pending an inspection, and also consideration of, because I believe it actually fits the planning application that the Dutch barge got out in front fits very much, could be adapted, and that was already approved by TDC. It'd have to go back, obviously, and be approved again, but there is outline planning permission for a boat in that location. So I do fully support it, but I think we've got to proceed with caution.
Thank you. Councillor Green.
We used to have a little ship in the harbour, didn't we? But we lost it. Sundowner. I think it was the tourists that let it go. And it would be great to have one there. And this one would seem to be particularly useful in that it wouldn't just be an exhibit, it could be actually used by the public for whatever. But I don't think the town council could undertake this on its own. It's too much money and too much of a risk. But I would support the town council being part of a campaign or whatever to try and raise the money. If at all possible, following, some detailed look at the state of the boat and what's really on offer.
Thank you. Councillor Nixie.
I would agree with Councillor Green with regards to us being involved. I mean, I wouldn't suggest we buy from anybody that's owned a boat or knows anybody that owns a boat knows exactly what the future lies ahead on that one. With regards to costs, obviously this is an important boat, especially for Ramsgate, because there are other ways, aren't there? Things like funding, GoFundMe, all the rest of it. So if we're trying to promote the history, the use of it, get the community involved and everything, because otherwise we're just buying it, people don't know that. It needs to be a group of people that are trying to save this and we can assist them. I would very much back that.
I mean, we'd have to, I mean, if we bought it, we've got to fit it out.
Yeah.
You've got that, you've got the fees.
Public liability,
And then
everything.
and it is a constant
Yes.
repair. Ships, every single day, something, you've got to do something with it. So, right, hang on for a sec, I've got councillor
We also
Crittenden.
need to know TDC's view, I guess.
Yeah, indeed. We've got councillor Crittenden, councillor Shon, and I've got councillor Everington, councillor Austin. So, councillor Crittenden.
I mean, certainly in principle, I do very much support, trying to support bringing this vote in. I will say, rather like councillor Wing and also councillor Hudson, I actually have my grandfather's handwritten biography at home, and he talks about when he was rescued from beaches. So I do have an emotional attachment to the whole little ship story. So I've got that in there. But I do think it's such a major thing for Ramsgate that anything we can do to support this, I would like to see. But I also completely understand the need to take some level of caution, middle route with this.
Councillor Shon.
I think it's very expensive, it's a good idea. All vessels and boats are very expensive, an aging one. If someone wants to loan it for a couple of months and we can use it in the fine weather, then hand it back. But I think at the moment it's just... I think I don't seriously think about the cost, really.
Thank you. Councillor Hetherington.
I think, like Councillor Green, Councillor Nixon, this is something that needs to be considered. I think it would be a good thing for us to look at it. We've got a whole vista of expertise from people that are running off the Commodore and everything, running Operation Dynamo, and they were thinking of doing very similar stuff, as I recall, of bringing some boats over here from Calais at one point to set this up as kind of Dunkirk. That's kind of the ultimate thing, as a sort of place where Dunkirk boats would be. There's a big plan for this. So it fits in with that. So yes, with reservations. I think it's very exciting.
Councillor Austin.
I think the role as a town council here can be critical in helping promote a campaign to bring the watchful to Ramsgate. And I think we can contribute to that both financially and in terms of our time and efforts and the contacts that we have. But I would be worried about us just laying out the money just like that. I think it's a great deal. And I also think, so I think somebody made the point earlier, actually we need people to know why it's important, and we need people to know why we're running a GoFundMe or whatever, and why we're maybe going to some of our larger local businesses for a bit of sponsorship and all that kind of thing, so we can involve as many people in the community as we can.
Absolutely, and I think as well, if it's close to the clock house or you've got the museum, you've got that link then between that. But I don't think we can afford to buy it and maintain it. So I think there's other things. Sorry, I've got Councillor Crittenden and then Councillor.
So I just wanted to add, I mean, people are talking about the cost of maintaining it, but to some extent, some of that, and we would need more information about this, should be covered by the usage of the boat. But I don't know to what extent that was, because there is a cafe. It's already fitted out, isn't it? I don't know if
Please do, if you've asked me, please.
Yeah. So just so you know, Commodore of AUS, Ken Finn, is on. We've sort of formed a little group around the watchful, which would involve other little ships above. So we now have 3 little ships in the harbour, but this one is unique as a little ship because of the fact that she can be used as a pleasure cruiser as long as she's only 10 miles from where she's moored. She's a working cafe, she's a bar, which a licence, as somebody also mentioned.
Only serving rum on there, I understand.
Only rum, absolutely. So she's got a bar underneath on the lower deck, 30 cover cafe which could be used as more of a restaurant feel as well, and an event space. Plus, obviously, she has a museum. She is coming to Ramsgate in April, so it was also about making you aware of that. So time to come back and discuss this in more depth, but she's sort of could make around 20,000 a year, which would hopefully cover a lot of the maintenance and insurance and what have you.
Right, just a question from me. It's up for sale now?
Yes, so the current owners have owned it for 10 years, and they've spent 100,000 on her restoration.
Yeah.
And
They just want their money back.
really, because she actually came to Ramsgate last year for the first time since 1940. She's not returned. And he was so overwhelmed with the welcome he got in Ramsgate, currently moored in Hartlepool, where she's been for some time, that he felt that was where she should go. So Kevin Finn and Chris Cox and a few others have been working. In fact, Kevin's just emailed me, and he's been to see her today, and he's singing her praises.
Up to Hartlepool?
He's up in Hartlepool as we speak, and he's been on board today. She's in amazing nick. She's 90 years old, but she's had a lot of restoration done and is solid. But he will be funding with other people and some crowdfunding, getting her to Ramsgate with the approval of the Harbour Master, who's also a watchful group that we have newly formed. So yeah, I mean, it feels like this should be her natural home, but this is where she's going to come from April, and then obviously decisions will be made after.
Thank you. Hang on.
Can I make a proposal then from the council that we are...
do that. My hand was up first.
Well, sorry, I didn't see that. I missed Councillor.
That we are interested in helping the group that are already looking after this, and I assume that there would need to be a pre-purchase survey done, so we could offer to pay for that survey so that people are aware of what the state it is in and the costs and everything, so that's very open to do.
Is that what you're...
I would propose that we would offer that.
Is there anything else? I think we need to add something with that in relation to how we're going to progress it.
I would say...
Well, through you, Chair, I think we need we need a report.
Yes.
By the time the boat comes here. About what would be involved for the town council to perhaps lead or support the campaign to raise the money.
Can we hear what Councillor Poole is saying? We might be able to combine.
Hang on, well, if you just give me a second, I'm just going to...
Just making sure.
Thank you. I also think there should be an adaptation to the motion, and I don't disagree with what Councillor Nixie says. I don't think it's just a survey. I think we need a lot more information about ongoing costs. Are TDC going to charge us mooring fees because they're expensive? And I would happily volunteer if I was allowed to join as a councillor member of the watchful group to go and get some of this information and anything this group wants me to bring back. I don't think we can buy it. I think we've got to proceed with all caution, and we need a lot more information before we can decide how we're going to support.
Personally, I think that's a good idea for anyone from here to get involved in that. I don't think that is specific for you, but for me, what I would like to do is to ask then whether the Harbour Master and who's the head of ask Kevin if they can come in to us and just to explain and explain all of that, explain what, and then we can, they're the ones with the knowledge, not that you haven't got the knowledge, of course, but not in relation to the, not in, if you've got to have a bottom scraped or whatever, I don't know. But so, in the nicest possible way for them to come here and us to find out more and more about that. And it's, but I think, from me, that I don't think we can purchase it, but we can do as much as we can to help and to get that boat in this harbour.
Yeah.
if we can do that. Are you happy to expand your?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's it. We'll get that.
Yeah.
You okay with that?
Are you approving my suggestion of the council having a look a lot by the time about?
Indeed. So we can include councillor Green's there. So, all members happy with that?
Yes.
So, second it, councillor Nixie seconded it. So, all in favour, please show. Thank you. Well done, people. Well done indeed. Right. Item 11. Have I missed one? Have I missed one? Oh, you know what, because I've jumped from 10, sorry.
9-3.
Oh, I haven't done 9-3, beg your pardon. Yes, indeed.
We're on
9-3, sorry. Right, the council was asked to approve the following recommendation for environment in the new year. To carry forward underspent monies from the town promotion budgets at the end of the financial year, 25-26, estimated at £8,500, and earmarking them under a new budget heading entitled Electricity Costs for Decorative Lighting. This heading will be used to meet the ongoing feeder pillar and lighting electricity costs. Councillor Green. Oh, sorry, can I just let the town clerk?
Yeah, of course.
Just to clarify that this will not have any effect on the approved budget for next year, because next year's budget was drafted on the presumption that all this money would be spent. So earmarking this for a new purpose won't have a knock-on effect with any other budgets next year.
Okay. Councillor Green.
Yeah, during last year, I warned each committee chair to spend the money that had been allocated to them for the year a number of times, because if they didn't spend it, they would quite possibly lose it. Now, if that means anything at all, I would like to hear good reasons why this money hasn't been spent in time.
There's a question open to members. I mean, I'm looking at the chair of town promotion, if you can answer Councillor Green's question.
We have met Rebecca and been to look at budgets. I think for this one, we became aware that there was this need in the year ahead, and it made sense to spend it. We understand that if there is an underspend, then it goes back in, under normal circumstances, it goes back into the central budget. And if this is refused, then that's what will happen. However, in that case, we need to find this money from somewhere else. So it's a way of offering to be able to use this money instead for this purpose.
So are you saying you plan to do this?
It's getting a bit tough tonight.
I'm loving this. It was certainly considered as a way of doing it. I mean, otherwise the money goes back in the pot. We know that.
Can I just ask the town clerk to say the importance of this, if I may? Town clerk.
So our new feeder pillar is powering all our decorative lighting, and we have already cut back on the hours of the lighting, but without paying the electricity, we can't turn the lights on. Basically.
How much fun? How much fun?
I think this was something that has come up unexpectedly. It's turned out to be, I won't say unexpectedly, we knew there would be a bill for electricity, but it's turned out to be more expensive than was originally assessed. I can't remember what the original meeting was going to be, but I think maybe Rebecca can fill.
We certainly didn't expect it to be as high as it has been. It's probably about 4 times more than we anticipated, if not more. Would also like to say, if I may, sorry,
That's where you catch it up for me.
that with the active Ramsgate budget, we had noticeably not imposed for a quarter of the year, and I think there's some of the underspend has been from that budget as well.
So.
Well, I beg my budget.
We'll need to look ahead. I mean, it's not in, because it was higher than expected, it's not in the coming budget, but we'll need to think about it for the next one.
Councillor.
I mean, I think it's asking people to completely spend their budget is, I don't think, is reasonable. In school, we had budgets, and one year we were told we had to clear our budgets, and the head boys PE went and bought 500 footballs that he never was able to use. So I just think it's, and actually when you look at what town promotion, I think we were allowed to, about 6% carry forward, and any more than 6% it got taken off us and it got put back in the general pot to be divided. But when we look at town promotion and what's happened with the lights, actually, quite a lot's been achieved with a relatively small amount of money that's made a massive difference.
Can I just make a comment in, just so you understand a little bit better? In government and local government, you're given a budget, and if you don't spend the budget, then your budget the following year gets cut.
I understand that, and that happens in teaching.
And that's
without a slippage.
That's what I'm saying, and that is exactly what Councillor Green's.
But surely we should allow a slippage of.
Councillor Green, that is what the discussion is about. So it's up to you whether you want to vote for it or you don't.
I would just add that I do tend to work on the basis of perhaps of my home budget, is I'd rather have a slight underspend than an overspend. So if there is a little bit that we haven't spent, and this isn't actually given in the whole budget. Prudent. This isn't actually a huge amount of underspend that we're asking to carry forward. So I would think that, you know, a small underspend is acceptable.
Okay, thank you. Members, anybody else want to comment on that? So,
I'll just say,
yes, Councillor Shonk.
if you've got a budget and it comes in underspend, that's good for us because we've got more money to spend on another good cause.
Carry it forward.
Carry it forward. I mean, just because you've got, you know, I could go and spend £10,000 a month, but if I get something for 8,000.
Can I borrow your credit card? Right, members, anyone want to make a recommendation?
I recommend to do it.
Second that.
Proposed to do it, seconded. All in favour, please show. Thank you, that's carried. Thank you, members.
Helen, did you reach your out?
Right, item 11, we need, it's a confidential items. There are 4 items on this. And item 1 is, it is recommended that under the Public Bodies Act 1960 as extended, public and accredited representative of the newspapers be excluded from the meeting of the following items, which is item 2, 3 and 4, and defined as Part 1, Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972. Excuse me, Councillor. Well done. So, do members agree? Agree. Right. Can we